Beck, for LGBTI people, one of the most distressing times of their life is when a partner dies, whether it be suddenly or, over a long period of time. Can you tell us about some of the rights that people who are in a same-sex relationship have at that time of life?
Absolutely, and it is often, one of the most stressful times for anyone, but we do hear so many really sad stories about LGBTI people specifically and their experiences. So again, I think it's really important, if you've got the opportunity, to set up what you can to cover off some of that stuff before it happens. Obviously, that doesn't always work if there's a sudden death, but I think it's really important to understand that, there can be invalidation of wills with marriage or divorce, so that's really important. So I always say to people, whenever there's a big life event, go and check your will. So if you get married, if you get divorced, if you have a child, all those sorts of things, go and see a lawyer about your will and get some legal advice about it, because there's some things you can do yourself, but you just don't want to leave things to chance. So I think that's really important. I think it's also really important to potentially look at things like power of attorneys, whether that's for medical decisions or financial decisions, and get some advice around that too, because sometimes we don't think we need these things until we need them.
Does that usually occur at the same time that you change or write your will?
Yeah, look, a lot of wills and estates lawyers will say that. They'll say do it all as a package and do it together. We, as a matter of course, tell all our clients to go and check on those sorts of things because, as I say, I just think life events are really good triggers to do a bit of hygiene on those things, and things like binding superannuation nominations. Not a lot of people, I think, know who they've nominated, or they might have done it eons ago before they were in a relationship. So just really good to check and make sure all those ducks are in a row before they need to be.
And with the fact that you're in a relationship and living, cohabiting with a partner, mean that automatically they're the signatory, they're the beneficiary of your superannuation? Is that the case?
No, it is really important to check with your super fund about who you've nominated, and then lots of the super funds have rules too around the binding nominations, so you might need to check on them regularly and not just think that it's all done and dusted, because the last thing you want is to pass away and for your partner to be embroiled in a dispute, whether that's with your family or your super fund or whatever it might be, as to where things are going, and you want to be comfortable that they're going to go where you wanted them to go.
Beck, we hear stories that are just horrendous around LGBTI couples. One partner dies, the other believes that they've got certain rights around, meeting the wishes of the person who's died. And that just never happens because family steps in, or there's a long-lost ex-partner, husband, wife, who comes in and takes over. What's the best way of protecting the wishes of the deceased in that case?
As I said, I think the really important thing is to go and get some advice from someone who's an expert and talk about wills, talk about power of attorneys, talk about all those sorts of things. And I guess think about, as sad as it sounds, think about what you don't want to happen and find a way to put some mechanisms in place while you can to help yourself in the long run.